So I'm trying something a little bit different with this video. Yesterday I recorded my my 13th Doctor video, and I was going to record I actually did record this video with it, but I recorded it on my phone and for some reason it went all blurred. So I thought, why not use my actual camera, which I don't believe is HD. It's been around for a couple of years, and I've hooked it up to my TV, and there's a reason I've done that, and I'll show you what that reason is at the end. I have compiled a few bullet points on Word of things I wanted to point out in the most recent Doctor Who trailer for Twice Upon a Time. Have a watch the trailer now if you haven't already. If the trailer doesn't show up now, it's because it's been taken down for copyright. But let's hope it doesn't get to that stage. Yeah, so enjoy the trailer. I'm sure most of you have probably watched it already, but yeah.
Love, pride, hate, fear.
Have you no emotions, sir?
I'm the Doctor.
I am the Doctor.
Something has gone very wrong with time. We're trapped inside a single moment.
So sorry. I don't suppose either of you is a doctor.
You're trying to be funny.
Those police boxers, they're ever so good, aren't they?
We do have one little advantage.
What advantage?
There's two of us.
Is he here? Is the Doctor here?
So the first point I wanted to make was the fact that obviously the clip is from the 10th Planet, and what I thought was funny was how we've just seen the return of the Mondasian Cybermen in the episode just gone, and because this is just one episode after, and obviously it's set during the 10th Planet, I was thinking maybe if it was because it was so soon after recording the Doctor Falls, perhaps they've got some of the Mondasian Cybermen back in this. Maybe not as anything big, probably just as some sort of cameo, but you know, they could be back either way. So you know, I'd rather them not be back though. Not fully anyway. I mean, I don't mind it just a cameo, but I'd rather them not be back as a main villain, put it that way. But I don't think they will be anyway. So the 4:3 aspect ratio turning into the 16:9 aspect ratio. It was done beautifully. Obviously, if I know it's only a little thing, but if any of you do make videos yourself, then you'd know how well that was edited. One man, obviously in capitals. Obviously that obviously means the first Doctor and the 12th Doctor are the same man. It's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously clips from the Doctor Falls. Obviously nothing really to say about them. One Destiny, which obviously means, I'm saying obviously a lot. Sorry about that. I don't know if I am actually. I might just be seeing patterns and things that aren't there. Yeah, One Destiny obviously meaning that both Doctors are heading towards the same fate, which is obviously regeneration. First Doctor, he's never regenerated before. He's scared about what it's going to do to him and what the effects are going to be. And that's something that I don't think anyone really thought about up until this point. And obviously the 12th Doctor's regenerated perhaps too many times, and he's getting bored of it, he's getting fed up, he just wants to stay the same. So obviously they're facing their same sort of fear and problem together. Then Polly returns. That's another thing that a lot of people have mentioned. I think it's really good. I hope she's not just going to be in it for a cameo. I'd rather her be in it more as a bigger part, you know, as a proper companion, sort of like Jamie was in the Two Doctors or something. I don't know why I jumped to the Two Doctors out of every multi-Doctor story, but yeah, and I don't know if this could possibly mean the return of Ben as well, but yeah, it doesn't really matter either way, does it? The Golden Glow is very controversial. I don't mind it myself, because at the end of the day, in the 60s they didn't have the technology to do that, and it's been established in the new series that that's how regeneration works. You have the Golden Glow, but yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. That's just the way it is. I just think if you don't like it, you just need to get over it, because it's not a massive deal. The two TARDISes next to each other. Now this is one of the nicest shots. I mean, you've got to give it to Rachel. Is it Talalay or Talalay? You've got to give it to her either way, because it is a good shot, and it's a simple shot, but it's a good shot. Obviously, the first Doctor's TARDIS is very inaccurate, not to the point where it's like, it's obviously not even reminiscent of it, because it is. But I mean, if you follow Clayton Hickman on Twitter, then you'd know what the problem is with it. But it doesn't really matter. It looks enough like the Doctor's TARDIS from that story, so I won't bother with that. Obviously, it's a World War I setting. Not that that really has any part to play in the trailer. Now, it's a seemingly good story. The fact that the two Doctors are facing very similar issues together while stuck in one moment of time is very sci-fi, very Doctor Who, and I like the idea of it. Seems very, very, very good. The two soldiers, something a lot of people might not know. Obviously, one of the soldiers is Mark Gatiss. Everyone knows what Mark Gatiss looks like. Everyone knows he was in the Lazarus Experiment, whatever. I hate getting fucking hairs in my mouth. Something a lot of people might not know is that the other soldier is Toby Whithouse. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He's another Doctor Who writer. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. Mark Gatiss. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh no, I really hope he's not going to be playing a young version of the Brigadier." Of course, he's not playing a fucking young version of the Brigadier. I mean, the Brigadier was probably in his 30s or 40s during the 70s. So I very much doubt during the First World War, the Brigadier was still in the military. If he was even alive. It just seems very far-fetched to me how people just jump into that conclusion just because he's wearing a military costume and he's got a moustache, which is wonky. First Doctor and the 12th Doctor's TARDIS. Now, honest to God, if the First Doctor says, "Oh, you've redecorated, I don't like it," that was an awful impression, wasn't it? That's going to piss me off. I mean, it was funny in the 5 Doctors, it was funny. Then when they brought it back into the new series, it was funny in Closing Time, because it was like the first time they made a reference to something like that, and it was funny. In The Day of the Doctor, it was okay. I didn't mind it too much, but by that point it was already starting to get a bit old. And then when Clara said it in Deep Breath, that got my tits. So honestly, I know it's only a little thing, but that is going to piss me off if they say that again, because it's been used to death, honestly. And the final point was the fact that Bill is back. Obviously, a lot of people have been pissed off with this because Clara, obviously, she died in Asylum of the Daleks, then she died again in The Snowmen, and then obviously during Series 7B, she was the main companion. Series 8 was probably the best series. Snapchat. And then she left at the end of Death in Heaven, but then she came back again in Last Christmas. And Last Christmas was supposed to be her last story, but then Jenna Coleman decided, actually no, I don't want to leave, I'm going to stay on for Series 9. So that sort of ruined Last Christmas for me. Last Christmas was very good, but then towards the end it got very repetitive. And then obviously they brought her back at the end of that. And in Series 9, she died in Face the Raven. Sorry if you haven't watched it, but it's obvious there was going to be spoilers in this. She died in Face the Raven. She came back in Heaven Sent, but that was okay because it was only in the Doctor's head. It was only a little vision thing, and she wasn't a main companion or anything, so it didn't bother me. But then in Hell Bent, he went back and he brought her back, and now she's travelling through time and space with a Shielder or me or whatever, Maisie Williams. And then Series 10 comes along. It was probably the best series we've got. At the end of World Enough and Time, Bill got converted into a Cyberman. a lot of people, myself included, was worried that Stephen was going to completely rewrite that. He was going to say, "Oh no, you know, you can be unconverted from a Cyberman, you can be converted from a Cyberman back into a human again." And he sort of did do that with the Heather thing, but it didn't bother me too much. I mean, I'd rather her just have stayed a Cyberman as much as I like Bill. But I'd preferred it if she was a Cyberman, but it didn't bother me too much, the fact that they brought her back with Heather. And then obviously she left, and then presumably she's coming back for this as a bigger part to play. Now, Amy and Clara were both probably the most irritating companions we've had in the show. They were most good looking, I'm not going to lie, but they were definitely the most irritating and obnoxious companions we've probably had, other than maybe Adric and Susan. Why am I holding that? But no, I like Bill. She's probably, other than probably Ace, Sarah Jane, Leela and Joe Grant, Bill is probably my favourite companion. So I don't mind her coming back. But Snapchat's just gone off again. I've just got to the last point of the trailer. So yeah, if you've noticed anything that I haven't, which I very much doubt you have, put that on silent. Yeah, if you notice something that I probably haven't, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and now I'm just going to, I suppose I'm going to quickly show you the whole visual feedback loop thing. So obviously just got a normal camera, and we've got a TV screen here. Now I'm not going to show you too much, but that's the TV screen. Now obviously if you put the camera into the TV screen, because obviously the TV screen is connected to it, but it's obviously on a delay, which means if you do that, it makes all these shapes. But obviously the contrast